Okay, everybody, I'm a big fan of my local camera shop, and lo and behold, they gave me a call, and this is what happened. Hello, guys. All right, so here I am. I unboxed it. I went out and actually took around like 1,000 or so shots with this thing already. And so I want to make a quick initial reaction video to talk about some of the things I found about this thing so far. The OM-3 being a very interesting camera at $2,000, micro four thirds, $2,000. It's kind of a flagship. It's not a flagship, but it's really, it's a fun camera to use. And let's talk a little bit about it. Okay, so first of all, the elephant in the room is always, when you're talking about micro four thirds, the sensor. And it is absolutely true that on a frame by frame basis, filling the same subject matter, right? A single shot from micro four thirds is not going to be as high quality as a single shot from full frame or APS-C or anything like that, right? Micro four thirds, shot for shot, has the least amount of image quality in general, all right? And that's just the elephant in the room, and that's just what I don't like really talking about with micro four thirds, because that also doesn't matter nearly as much as what most people think. In fact, I just want to show you some of the images that I've sold recently that were all because of micro four thirds, and the reason I sold them was because micro four thirds is so small and it goes everywhere with me. So here's some of the shots that were taken with micro four thirds. Most of these were micro four thirds. There's a couple that are not, but almost all these are micro four thirds. And they're about 65 inches, and the clarity is really amazing. When you look at them, something like, for instance, that shot, right? That shot was used right here to feature that room. That was 75 inches, and that was with micro four thirds, shot with the 100 or 400, wide open at 6.3, and that was even ISO 800. And so a lot of people say that micro four thirds, number one, it's not great at high ISO, and that's a little bit true sometimes, but I shot this one at 800 ISO, and it looks unbelievable at 75 inches. And so that's with the 20 megapixel sensor. I don't think that we're sacrificing much by using micro four thirds. I do think it's true that you have to know what you're doing. I think that you need to be really cognizant of what you're shooting to get the most out of this camera. And that is a concern. I think that if you take the Nikon ZF, for instance, the 24 megapixel full frame camera out, and you were just an amateur and you put it on program mode and you shot around with this, the photos are going to look quite a bit better out of that Nikon ZF. Just in general, as far as being able to correct for exposure errors and things like that, the ZF, the full frame sensor, just reacts better. However, this thing is fine, and it's more than fine if you know what you're doing. First of all, my ideal, the dream setup for this thing is already right here. I just wish it was weather sealed. It's the 15 millimeter 1.7. The Leica on this is just a dream come true. If the aperture ring actually worked on Olympus cameras or OM system cameras, that would be another dream come true. It's so close to being about perfect, right? This lens, seriously, 30 millimeters, 1.7 light, the character, the optical, it just creates incredible images. The combination is stunning, but it's not weather sealed and can't use the aperture ring. So we just can't ever have everything we want. Going back to the images, people talk about micro four thirds as far as ISO. Again, this is 6400 on the ISO. Just dark, and look at all that detail. So like, I just don't want to hear anybody talk about micro four thirds and how it can't do amazing things. These are shots of the camera, the OM-3, taken with the Panasonic G9 II, which is the other top contender for an amazing micro four thirds stills camera. But I really shot a lot of these. Let's go to the camera itself and how much fun the creative dial is. The creative dial is actually way cooler than I thought. I seriously thought it was gonna be a gimmick, but there's two reasons I love it. Reason number one is because I actually use it, my fingers, I use it to ergonomically, the camera's not great, it's that brick design, but the creative dial itself, it's really handy to use. I could put a finger on it and move it around. So I like how it feels tactically. It's really hard to go to the next dial. So they probably did that on purpose, knowing that we're going to be resting our fingers on it. But just in general, the ability to program really interesting color combinations on the go and on the fly really quickly. I know I like doing that with Fuji sometimes, but with Fuji, you had to go in the menu sometimes and change things around. This is just, you press OK again, and you're in the menu, and it's quick and easy. There's a lot of cool different things you could do with these dials. And so, for instance, you could add borders like this, and then you could just quickly change a dial to get these different color settings. I turned everything kind of cool. And then you go all the way to the black and white modes. And again, you're dialing in different things, including the different types of vignetting, the different types of grain. You can see different types of grain, different ways it treats the highlights. Wow. It's really interesting how it does that. And so, for me, I'm thinking about ways I could use one of these color profiles or something like that for a certain project. So I've been wanting to go out and do, for instance, a project with bumper stickers and just stickers in general. And so I was like, I think I could use a specific profile. Let me get to it. I shot some examples right here. Just, some stickers, and here's Bane right there. And I just kind of think that's cool, and I want to do a series of these. I know it's not original or anything like that, but I just personally want to do that. And I would set a color profile for that so they all have the same feel to them. And that would be an easy way for me to do that project, program it into one of these, on one of the dials, and go back to that every time I want that exact look, which is going to be fun to do that with some projects that I've got in my head. Beyond that, though, the camera is just responsive. It's quick. The image quality, people, look at this stuff. I mean, what more do you want? I could read everything. We're getting down to like 200% here, and it looks stunning. Micro Four Thirds. This is my second go around with Micro Four Thirds as well. My first time around, I really dug it, but I also tried to get away with cheaper lenses, and this time I'm going with the most, like the better lenses, the best you could possibly get sometimes. So I'm like the 42.5 f1.2 is just an incredible. I mean, it's just the optics are stunning, right? If you're going that, we're going to like 200, 300% at this point, and it looks incredible. This is why you can get away with so much with Micro Four Thirds. These small cameras and these small lenses combined can do really incredible things. Another couple things. Let's talk about the computational button. I know that they've made a big deal out of it. The CP button on the back. So you press that, and then you can rotate the dials to quickly just go to all the different, if you want to do the neutral density, all that stuff. All I've done so far, and it's done incredibly well, is the high resolution mode. So I use handheld high resolution mode, and I'm just going around and I'm taking shots, and it's doing an amazing job. I wanted to show you guys some examples. Where are they? I think I was doing these concrete. So I think I was. Yeah, so 8,000 by 6,000. So you're getting enhanced color, and you're also getting enhanced resolution. When you zoom in and you're looking at that level of detail, that's way, 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 way beyond the 20 megapixel sensor's ability. This is absolutely, you're cheating a little bit. Okay, so, and part of that is the glass. So I'm got some really, really good glass, and I'm using that glass at like f3.5 or f5.6 and stuff like that so I can get the most detail. One of the benefits of Micro Four Thirds is more depth of field. So on textures and those kinds of things, you can get a lot more in detail, which is actually helpful for the type of photography that I do. So again, it's perfect, and I'm cheating a little bit, but I'm getting higher levels of detail, higher levels of color, and way more megapixels, way more resolution than I would normally be able to do. And it's still in this insanely tiny body, and that's wild. So this thing can go anywhere with me, and and it looks great. That's what is wild about this. They threw everything in here. If I wanted, if I had it in the car and I had the 150 to 400, I could throw it in this thing, and then I have an absolutely world-class nature, birding, wildlife camera system. That's wild. And I take that off and I put this thing on, and I have like a stylish, awesome camera that I could take, anywhere with me and get world-class results like this stuff. I'm just out walking with like my family. I see a cool texture, engage the CP mode, right? The computational photography mode, to go to the high resolution handheld mode, get that texture, and I just keep walking. And I have something like I could sell. That's what's so amazing about this. This is high resolution, tons of megapixels. People love this kind of stuff, this kind of textures. And I'm finding myself, look at that. That's just in my kitchen. This is like a creative masterpiece, this camera. And so I'm getting more excited talking about it as I make this video than I was. I really, literally, when I first thought about getting this camera, I thought I was not going to like it. I thought the EVF was going to be too low quality for me to get by. And it's not great, but it's also not a deal breaker for me. And I also thought it was just going to be too expensive of a camera. But the more I think about what this thing offers, the more I think the price tag is super, super legit. It's small, it's light. The battery, people, is insane. I have not charged the battery, and I've shot with this thing for 2 days straight. Haven't even touched the battery. So the battery is truly impressive. I've heard the video quality is really good. I mean, I'm just more impressed. The tactile, like moving this around, feels good. It sounds, silly, but it's just one of those things. I have a friend that always talked about the feel of Leicas and how they would just, the tactile feel of everything felt different. And this thing feels high quality, manufactured. Oh, and the shutter. Oh, people, you got to hear this. Listen to this. I mean, that's nice. All right, so we got some good stuff going on. I love this thing. I'm gonna do some more photography and do another video where we're gonna talk and delve a little bit deeper into the photos. But they're looking fantastic. So my initial reactions, that's what they are. And if you have questions for the future of this camera and have Micro Four Thirds in general, if you hate on Micro Four Thirds, that's fine. But just be nice. Please be nice. Let's all be nice. And we'll talk to you next time.